All right, this is a video on my 2012 Chevy Caprice PPV and some of the updates I've made to the interior. So I've done a few things to the car since I've owned it, and I'll go over that as I go. I might jump all over the place, just kind of letting you guys know a few of the key points if you guys are planning on updating the interior with the console, the steering wheel, as well as the seats. So here's a quick look at the finished product of what I was able to come up with after I got done with everything. And just a little back note on the Caprice. The Caprice was built originally in Australia, and they imported about 16,000 of these between the years of 2012 to 2017 to be fleet vehicles. And the plant that they originally built these in Australia in did close down in 2017. So if you're lucky enough to get one between the years of 12 and 17 of the 16,000, the nice thing about these particular vehicles, you're basically buying the engine. These vehicles come with the LS base motor, which is basically a LS3 heads, I believe, an LS2 block. But there's a lot of things you can do to it, especially if you're planning on, putting the cam in it. And I've had this thing cammed, and I'll go over that in a different video. So the first thing I updated was the steering wheel. What I did with the steering wheel is I actually brought this steering wheel off of a website for salvage yards, and it came out of a 2008 Pontiac G8. And what I did was I just cut the leather that originally came off of it, and then I actually sewed in this leather wrap around it, and then painted the pieces here with truck bed liner. And then the airbag is actually the original airbag off of the Caprice. The other thing I updated to as well is the center console. The center console is out of a 2008 Pontiac G8. A few things that you have to keep in mind if you are planning on doing the update for the console. This piece here is the center bezel. The center bezel, this is a Series 2 center bezel, which only comes in the Holden. So with this particular bezel, I was only able to find this in Australia and order from Australia. The original bezel that comes off of the G8 is longer. And if you do get this off of the G8, you have to still get the bezel that fits up into the build that you're going to put into the Caprice. Also in the American cars in the G8, these buttons here are actually the seat warmers buttons. So if you want to have the performance mode along with the sport shift, you have to order these buttons here from Australia. I did also update the shifter knob. The shifter knob is from Redline Goods. No, the shifting knob I actually ordered from Australia. The boot is a leather boot that I ordered from Redline Goods. And then also I have the armrest cover, which I ordered from Redline Goods as well. The next thing I did was I updated the seats. The seats are off of a 2008 Pontiac G8. Three things that you have to keep in mind if you are doing the seat update. One being is the frame, the actual back of the seat is out of the Caprice. So you have to take the frame off of the frame from the Caprice and then bolt it onto the frame for the G8. Reason being is point two is this has an airbag on the side of it, and you have to use the original airbag for these cars. Everything I have read, all the stuff that I've read about the blogs and the builds and people updating it, if you do not use the OEM airbag, the dashboard lights up. The third thing you have to keep in mind too as well is these things have a seatbelt tensioner on them. And if you are doing the swap, you have to use a seatbelt tensioner, the original seatbelt tensioner on the seats. If you do not, once again, the dashboard is just going to light up like a Christmas tree. So the seat back, the seatbelt tensioner, as well as the airbag are three very important pieces that if you do those wrong, then it's just going to cause you problems in the end. But I had a pretty good update with the seats for this particular build. It wasn't that big of a job. And then this is how the back seats turned out. The back seats were originally vinyl, so not too much of an upgrade. The neat thing about this here is I do have the ability to pull down the centerpiece there to get into the trunk. I didn't get the clip that allows that to snap on, so there's a lever that allows that to come down. So it's just, it'll come down automatically, but it hasn't come down while I'm driving it since I've done it. So that's pretty much it for the interior. A lot of people have asked me to send pictures of some of the updates that I've made to the interior. Another thing I've done too is I pulled that Chevy Caprice symbol off of a 92 Caprice, painted it with truck bed liner, and just to give it some of that that old school look. And then also I moved the the trunk release button to the inside of the actual glove box. Another thing I've updated to here is a cell phone holder, so then I can have a cell phone holder on the dash. And one of my biggest fabrication updates I've had in this car is this piece here originally comes with that switch there. So what I was able to do was purchase one of those switches, and then once I purchased one of those switches, I punched out the buttons on the inside. I've smoothed it over, then I filled it with Bondo. Underneath this is actual magnets. So what I'm able to do with this here is set my cell phone on here, and then while I'm driving, it doesn't, you know, fall all off the dash. So I was able to paint this with truck bed liner and smooth it over. It took me a lot of sanding, but that just gives me one more function where this was just an empty spot before, or you just had to have the dead spot with the actual window buttons. And then I ordered these light up Chevy emblem cup holders, just to give it a little bit of the look. And then I have the tap shift function is the other thing I've updated to this car. So with the Caprice, you are able to add in a tap shift function because it's the same transmission and same hookup. You just have to run the wires. So with the harness, there's 2 wires you have to run from the harness to when you plug it into the G8 shifter. And then once you do that, you just have to run it to the ECM. And then once you run it to the ECM, it automatically registers. The one thing that I'm still debating on is if I'm going to get it reprogrammed to show the actual gears on the dash. So that's pretty much a lot of the stuff I've done to the interior. The biggest thing is that, you know, you just got to kind of take your time when you do it. There's a lot of parts that you have to order from Australia. With me, it wasn't that much of an expensive job, but a lot of these parts that you have to order from Australia, the shipping is more than the actual parts. So just kind of, I have links to all of my bills for the interior. And then I also have some links to my page on newcapriceforms.com at tedward0633. So feel free to subscribe to this page. I will be having a video for the exhaust next, as well as a video for the exterior updates. And then I have a video for the engine with the cam work that I had done to that too as well. So feel free to subscribe to my page, like this video, and check out the actual instructions to the builds at the bottom of this page and on the New Caprice forums. So once again, this is the 2012 Chevy Caprice PPV interior complete build. And then I have a separate video that goes over in detail of the build for the console.